Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Former Deputy Prime Minister of India and veteran BJP leader LK Advani will be receiving Bharat Ratna, the country's highest civilian award. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to him on Saturday and conveyed the news to him. Addressing the Commonwealth Attorneys and Solicitors General Conference in New Delhi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi says that India has done away with thousands of obsolete colonial-era laws. US forces carry out retaliatory strikes in Syria and Iraq in response to Sunday's drone attack on Jordan military base. Yashasvi Jaiswal struck maiden double century as India all out for 396 in their first innings on second day of second test against England in Visakhapatnam. India's former Deputy Prime Minister and veteran BJP leader LK Advani will receive the country's highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna. Taking to social media site X, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, and I quote, "I'm very happy to share that Shri LK Advani ji will be conferred the Bharat Ratna. I also spoke to him and congratulated him on being conferred this honor. One of the most respected statesmen of our times, his contribution to the development of India is monumental. His is a life that started from working at the grassroots to serving the nation as a Deputy Prime Minister. He distinguished himself as a Home Minister and INB Minister as well. His parliamentary interventions have always been exemplary, full of rich insights. Advani ji's decades-long service in public life has been marked by an unwavering commitment to transparency and integrity, setting an exemplary standard in political ethics. He has made unparalleled efforts towards furthering national unity and cultural resurgence. The conferring of the Bharat Ratna on him is a very emotional moment for me. I will always consider it my privilege that I got countless opportunities to interact with him and learn from him." This is what Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi tweeted. As India's former Deputy Prime Minister and veteran BJP leader LK Advani will be receiving the country's highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna. Taking to social media site X, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, and I quote, "I'm very happy to share that Shri LK Advani ji will be conferred the Bharat Ratna. I also spoke to him and congratulated him on being conferred this honor. One of the most respected statesmen of our times, his contribution to the development of India is monumental. His life that started from working at the grassroots to serving the nation as a Deputy Prime Minister. He distinguished himself as our Home Minister and INB Minister as well. His parliamentary interventions have always been exemplary, full of rich insights. Advani ji's decades-long service in public life has been marked by an unwavering commitment to transparency and integrity, setting an exemplary standard in political ethics. He has made unparalleled efforts towards furthering national unity and cultural resurgence. The conferring of Bharat Ratna on him is a very emotional moment for me. I will always consider it my privilege that I got countless opportunities to interact with him and learn from him." India's former Deputy Prime Minister and veteran BJP leader LK Advani will be receiving the country's highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi also shared the tweet on X. Taking to social media site X, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, and I quote, I'm very happy to share that Shri L.K. Advani ji will be conferred the Bharat Ratna. I also spoke to him and congratulated him on being conferred this honor. One of the most respected statesmen of our times, his contribution to the development of India is monumental. His is a life that started from working at the grassroots to serving the nation as our Deputy Prime Minister. He distinguished himself as our Home Minister and INB Minister as well. His parliamentary interventions have always been exemplary, full of rich insights. Advani ji's decades-long service in public life has been marked by an unwavering commitment to transparency and integrity, setting an exemplary standard in political ethics. He has made unparalleled efforts towards furthering national unity and cultural resurgence. The conferring of Bharat Ratna on him is a very emotional moment for me. I will always consider it my privilege that I got countless opportunities to interact with him and learn from him. This is what Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi tweeted on X. As India's former Deputy Prime Minister and veteran BJP leader L.K. Advani will be receiving the country's highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna. L.K. Advani, the BJP leader who catapulted the party into national reckoning with his Rath Yatra for Ayodhya's Ram Temple in early 1990s, has been conferred with the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian award. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to him on Saturday and conveyed the news to him. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while announcing the honour for the veteran, said L.K. Advani's role in the development of India is monumental. He called him one of the most respected statesmen of India. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi tweeted, and I quote, "One of the most respected statesmen of our times, his contribution to the development of India is monumental. His is a life that started from working at the grassroots to serving the nation as a Deputy Prime Minister. He distinguished himself as our Home Minister and INB Minister as well. His parliamentary interventions have always been exemplary, full of rich insights." Well, for more on this, I've been joined by DD India's Ravi Dhiman. Ravi, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has tweeted that India's former Deputy Prime Minister and veteran BJP leader L.K. Advani will be receiving the country's highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna. Can you just give us some more details?
Lal Krishna Advani, or L.K. Advani as he is called, is one of the senior-most leaders of the BJP. He, in fact, has been monumental in catapulting the BJP to the national reckoning. He, along with former Prime Minister and late Atal Bihari Vajpayee, these two leaders were really the face of BJP for many years when the party was trying to find its roots in the political landscape of India. These two leaders, in fact, pulled the party from being just a party and lent their strong voice. Lal Krishna Advani will be is remembered for many political, innings. One of the most famous being the Rath Yatra in the 90s, which really catapulted the BJP into a mainstream party. From 2 odd seats, the party, zoomed to more than 80 seats in the next Lok Sabha elections. The Ram Temple issue became one of the main issues for the party. It remained with the party for many decades. It became really the issue around which the party's ideology, the party's working, the party's slogans evolved as it fought many state elections and national elections under direct guidance of Lal Krishna Advani. In the parliament also, we have seen him working as a parliamentarian. He was a parliamentarian par excellence. He used to, there were debates on important national issues in the Lok Sabha, and even the reporters got to know that Lal Krishna Advani or LK Advani will intervene on behalf of the BJP. They used to eagerly wait for his, interventions in the Lok Sabha. His interventions, his statements in the Parliament were really path-breaking. They were, they were awaited by all. His politics was not the politics of hatred. His politics was not the politics of considering the political adversary as the enemy, but he stuck to the issues, and that's the advice he gave to all the youngsters who came to him. Across the party lines, that you have got to stick to the issues and not target the individual. And he remained committed to that principle throughout his political career.
Definitely. All right. Thank you so much, Ravi Dhiman, for your analysis. Well, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the Commonwealth Attorneys and Solicitors General Conference 2024 on Saturday. The conference was inaugurated in New Delhi. The event was also attended by Union Law Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal and Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud. The conference's theme is Cross-Border Challenges in Justice Delivery, focusing on crucial legal and justice issues. Expressing concern about the challenges posed by cryptocurrency and cyber threats, PM stressed the need to make the justice delivery system more flexible and adaptable. Moreover, he also emphasized the importance of adapting legal systems to the 21st century challenges.
The rise of cryptocurrency and cyber threats are posing new challenges. 21st century challenges cannot be fought with a 20th century approach. There is a need to rethink, reimagine, and reform. This includes modernizing legal systems that deliver justice. This includes making our systems more flexible and adaptable.
Chief Justice of India, Dhananjay Yashwant Chandrachud, also addressed the gathering on the occasion and said that the Sustainable Development Goals served as the universal goals of action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure prosperity to all.
At this conference, focused on law officers, it is pertinent to consider their pivotal role in upholding the ethics in legal practice. Law officers serve as a primary point of contact between the courts and the government, representing not only the government as an institution, but also the various departments and officials within it. The Attorney General and the Advocates General are posts envisaged under our Constitution. Several other law officers also represent the Union and the states, including the Solicitor General, Additional Solicitor General, Additional Advocates General for the states.
Well, the Indian Navy today commissioned its latest survey vessel, Sandhayak, in South Indian state of Andhra Pradesh. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh attended the ceremony. The vessel is designed indigenously. The primary role of the ship is to carry out full-scale hydrographic surveys of ports, harbours, navigational routes and deep seas towards enabling safe marine navigation. Sandhayak was delivered to the Indian Navy on December 4 after completing a rigorous and comprehensive trial program both in the harbour and at sea. The ship reincarnated in its present avatar from erstwhile Sandhayak, which was decommissioned on 4th of June 2021. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the PAPS Hindu Mandir in Abu Dhabi on February 14, 2024. The grand structure of pink sandstones will be a key factor in strengthening India-UAE relations.
The highly anticipated Bab's Hindu Mandir, a magnificent pink sandstone temple, is set to be inaugurated in Abu Dhabi on February 14th this year by Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi. This landmark event marks a significant moment for the UAE, symbolizing its commitment to religious tolerance and cultural diversity. The temple, built by Bochansanvasi Sri Akshar Purushottam Swaminarayan Sanstha or BAPS, boasts of intricate carvings and traditional architecture. It will serve as a spiritual sanctuary for the Hindu community in the UAE, estimated to be over 2 million strong. In the serene desert expanse of Abu Dhabi's Abu Muraikha district, a remarkable structure is emerging from the sands. It transcends the typical attractions found in the region, such as luxury hotels or race car arenas, as it is destined to be a sacred place of worship, serving as a testament to ancient tales and India's rich cultural heritage. The 7 towers representing the Emirates rise proudly on a 27-acre land donated by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of UAE. At 108 feet tall, the temple spires can be seen from afar, a majestic testament to cultural unity. Constructed with pink sandstone from Rajasthan, reminiscent of other Hindu temples globally, it stands apart by avoiding the use of iron, steel or reinforced concrete in its creation. The pathway leading to the temple is adorned with 6 trees imported from the Czech Republic. Along this path, 3 water bodies have been meticulously crafted, symbolically representing the sacred rivers of India, Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. The BAPS Hindu Mandir, a testament to timeless craftsmanship, every carving meticulously handcrafted by skilled artisans from India, bring to life the revival of ancient art. Witness the seamless harmony between India and the UAE through the depictions of elephants, camels, Arabian horses and peacocks. The exterior carvings of the temple proudly showcase the artisans' exceptional talent. As you approach, the intricate details become evident. Observe the elephants and you'll notice the realistic depiction of their rough skin carved onto the stone. This tactile experience allows you to touch and feel the artistry, providing a tangible connection. The carvings not only display the individual skills of the artisans, but also symbolize the harmonious relationship between India and the UAE. Step inside and you'll find the interior adorned with Italian marble, providing a cool and serene ambience. The construction itself is a blend of tradition and modernity, utilizing materials that ensure structural longevity and evoke a sense of purity and spirituality. Every intricate carving adorning this temple is meticulously handcrafted by skilled artisans in India. The remaining stones from the temple construction are given to children. They convey messages through these lovely stone paintings, crafting beautiful inscriptions and becoming integral parts of the enchanting journey in building the BAPS Hindu Mandir.
The core idea of this temple is harmony. And why we could even imagine this idea? Because of the host country.
As we eagerly await the inauguration on February 14th, the BAPS Hindu Mandir in Abu Dhabi stands as a beacon of unity. With themed events following the consecration ceremony, the last-minute works and final touches are being done.
Well, still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Brazil's military reinforces border with Venezuela and Guyana due to Essequibo. Carl Weathers, who rose to fame as Apollo Creed in Rocky, dies at 76.
We are taking up a very big challenge that has emerged for the international community at large. This is the threats to maritime security. What is India doing about it? What is the rest of the world doing about it? And what is the way ahead to make the high seas safe and secure for all?
The Navy is the best tool for exercising India's foreign policy, mainly because the Navy doesn't have borders. You come out of 12 nautical miles the territorial water, you are in the world. Navy's nearest neighbor on the west coast is the Arab Peninsula. We don't have any land in between. So we deal with them on a daily basis. All these you will find whenever you have a bilateral or multilateral, the first thing that happens is the maritime security side.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Days after a drone attack in Jordan killed 3 American soldiers, the U.S. carried out retaliatory strikes in Iraq and Syria. The U.S. military said that strikes were carried out against 85 targets linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps and the militias it backs. A total of 7 locations, 4 in Syria and 3 in Iraq, were struck. The targets included command and control centers, rockets, missiles, and drone storage facilities, as well as logistics and munition supply chain facilities. U.S. struck facilities of the Quds Force, which is the foreign unit of the Revolutionary Guards. Notably, the operation used long-range B-1 bombers that flew from the U.S. It's not yet clear if any militants were killed in the strike. The strikes have triggered a war of words between U.S. and Iraq. The Iraqi military said that the strikes violate Iraq's sovereignty. It added that the strikes pose a threat that it could lead Iraq and the region into dire consequences, and that their outcomes will have severe implications on the security and stability in Iraq and the surrounding region. Washington has said that it informed the Iraqi government ahead of the strikes. Also, the remains of 3 American troops killed in a Jordan attack arrived in the U.S., with President Joe Biden joining families for a dignified transfer at Dover Air Force Base. Washington blames Iran-backed militants for the attack. DD India correspondent Nick Harper's report from Washington provides more details.
Well, we heard a little while ago from John Kirby, the National Security Advisor to the White House, saying that it was still unclear if any militants had been killed or wounded, essentially saying that it really will have to wait until the light of day for it to become clear exactly the extent of the damage, but also the extent of the casualties. But he also went on to make clear, as has US Central Command, that they were very much targeting militant bases, that these were not civilian zones. They were doing everything that they could for these to be precision strikes, and therefore they're very much hoping that there were no civilian casualties in all of this. But we also know that this signalling by the United States over the last couple of days has meant that many of the militants who were in these bases are thought to have left ahead of time. Remember, the US, about 48 hours ago, said that it had decided that it would be carrying out strikes. The US President Joe Biden saying that the US had decided how to respond. And there was much debate here in the US as to whether or not that signalling should have been given to the militants, essentially a heads up. But it seems that perhaps Washington wanted to try and get some of the militants out of the area to limit the number of casualties and therefore not escalate the situation any further and prompt a response from Iran or any of the other actors within the region.
Meanwhile, U.S. imposed sanctions on Iran's ballistic missile and drone procurement programs. Washington also placed sanctions on 6 officials of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps' Cyber Electronic Command, citing malicious cyber activities against critical infrastructure in the United States and elsewhere. Sanctions also targeted 4 Iran and Hong Kong-based companies involved in providing materials and technology to Iran's ballistic missile and drone programs, as well as a Hong Kong-based firm for selling Iranian commodities to Chinese entities. And actor Carl Weathers, a former professional American football player who also played a brash and charismatic boxer, Apollo Creed, in the Rocky movies, died on Thursday at the age of 76. Weathers was the best known for playing in hit movies of the 1970s and 1980s. Weathers had a brief career playing for the Oakland Raiders of the National Football League, but retired from the sport to pursue acting. Over 10 episodes from 2019 to 2023, The Mandalorian put Weathers back into the limelight. Amidst growing clash around migration situation at the US-Mexico border, the Texas National Guard officers continued to put up razor wire on Friday. The wiring is to deter from crossing into the state. The Eagle Pass has become a flashpoint between the White House and Texas's Republican Governor Greg Abbott over federal and state powers to deal with illegal immigration. Amidst the tensions between Venezuela and Guyana over a border conflict in Essequibo region, the neighboring country Brazil sent a convoy of military trucks and armored vehicles to its northern border on Friday. The move comes after Brazil took threat of a Venezuelan aggression seriously and warned that it would not allow Venezuela to use Brazilian territory in Roraima to invade the Essequibo. Last week, at a meeting mediated by Brazil, Venezuela vowed to stick to diplomacy to resolve the conflict. Venezuela has reactivated its claim over the 160,000 square kilometer Essequibo region in recent years after the discovery of large oil and gas deposits offshore from Guyana. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan named Deputy Central Bank Governor Fatih Karahan as Turkey's new central bank governor. Karahan's appointment came hours after the bank's first female chief announced her resignation on Friday night, citing a campaign against her and her family. Fatih Karahan worked as an economist at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York for almost a decade. At least 10 people have died in Chile as forest fires rage on. Wildfires in the central Chile destroyed 480 hectares. Some 9 regions in the area have been evacuated. Fire brigades, police, air tankers and helicopters have been deployed in the region. Chile's central areas are facing heat waves and high temperatures leading to wildfires. A 16th century church that was normally flooded inside a dam in southern Mexico is now visible due to the low water levels brought in by a drought. The low water levels is posing problems for the fishermen and farmers. In late January, water levels in the Benito Juarez Dam has decreased by 47%. Locals said that the decrease in water is due to low levels of rainfall in recent years. On to sports now. India were all out for 396 in their first innings on day 2 of the second test against England in Visakhapatnam on Saturday. Opener Yashasvi Jaiswal top scored for the home side. He slammed 209 runs. For England, James Anderson and the spin duo of Rehan Ahmed and Shoaib Bashir claimed 3 wickets apiece. All right, and that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.